Alright guys, so we're back, and if you watched our last video, it was the unboxing of Crystal's beautiful teal freeze dryer from Blue Alpine. So we figured we'd show you kind of like a little short setup of what you're going to do, like once you get it in place, where you want it, and then we'll show you kind of how you're going to hook stuff up, how you're going to fill up your vacuum pump, where you're going to plug your vacuum pump in at, and then how you're going to do your first run, which is what they call the bread run. So the bread run will, any smells or anything like that that's in your freeze dryer, it'll actually absorb any of that and take it out. So you'll do that as an initial run, and then you just throw that bread away. So so when you do this, just go to the store and buy the cheapest bread you can get. Don't buy anything expensive or anything like that. So you'll be upset. So all right. So with your vacuum pump, what you're going to do to fill it up is this right here. It is it's basically like a filter. So as it's pulling the vacuum and it's pulling the air out, it's coming in the vacuum pump, and it's going to release that air right here. So this is a filter that keeps all the oil from just blowing out as you're running. But you'll take this off, which I really like this about this pump, because this is where you're going to add your oil. So it's a much larger port to be able to pour your oil in, versus what the other freeze dryer comes with. It's a smaller hole, and you always end up making a mess. So unless you have a funnel, I like funnels, but I have a hard time keeping up with them, which I think most people do. So every time you need one, you can't find it, and then when you don't need it, you find it. So so the oil, it's got the little cellophane thing on the top. I don't like to pull all of it off, so that way I don't have too much coming out at one time. But anyway, so on your vacuum pump, you'll see a minimum and a maximum. So you want it sitting on a level surface, and as you're pouring in, you'll eventually see that oil starting to rise, and I generally try to stop it just below the max line. That way it's got a little bit of room for play. So we'll start filling this up, and hopefully I don't make a mess on this new pump. And it'll take just a minute, because this thing they ship it to you empty, which is good, that way if something happens, it doesn't leak oil all over everything. But if I'm not mistaken, this one container right here should get you to exactly where you need to be. And if that's the case, I would definitely hold on to it. That way, if you get a larger jug, you can always fill this small bottle up and know that you're going to be exactly right where you need to be. So perfect, right at the max. So that's something really good that Blue Alpine did, is your initial bottle of oil is exactly what you need for your first fill up. So now in the book it does say this would be your break-in oil. So after you do your initial runs and everything, then you would change your oil. So after you make sure you have more high vacuum pump oil on hand, so that way when you finish your first run, you can go ahead and change that oil. And just kind of like a car, if you have your motor rebuilt, or you get a brand new motor put in or something like that, you have break-in oil. So that gets everything lubed up. It gets any debris or anything that may be left behind, and it gets it down to where it can be drained out. So you're going to put your filter back on. Whatever you do, try not to cross thread it. If you start to turn it and you get half a turn and it wants to stop, don't keep going. That means it's cross threaded. So when you tighten it down, just tighten it down hand tight. Don't put a wrench on it. You don't need to put a wrench. So, all right. So as far as hooking it up, so on the side of your freeze dryer, I hope you can see this because it's a little dark over here. So ours, we've got our vacuum hose on this side, the drain hose is on the other side, but there's an outlet right below the vacuum hose. And so that's where you're going to plug your vacuum pump in at. So that way the freeze dryer can tell it to turn on. So I'm going to tie this back up so I don't have a whole lot of cord just hanging around. And then the vacuum pump, this particular vacuum pump, it does not appear that it's got an on-off switch. So it's a plug it in. If you plug it in the wall, it would just run. So so what happens is the freeze dryer will actually tell it, hey, it's time to turn on, and it'll shoot power to that outlet. Now your vacuum hose, in the original video, this little spring clamp was in the box with it. So you're going to take your vacuum hose and you're going to slide it. Oh, wait a minute. You're going to put your spring clamp on first. So you're going to slide your vacuum pump hose down on that fitting, and then you're going to slide a spring clamp down. So that's a barbed fitting, so once it goes on, it kind of grabs onto it, and then the spring clamp gives it that extra little hold. So now your vacuum pump is ready to go. So for the sake of time for the video, we went ahead and got our trays ready. So what you're going to do for your bread run, if like I said, if you get the large freeze dryer, you're going to get the which I think they come with all the rest of them as well. You'll have to double check, but you put your silicone mat on your tray, put your bread on there, slide it in, and we've got all 5 trays, all 5 silicone mats, and you're good to go. Let's see. So we're going to turn this thing on for the first time and watch for the fireworks. So the screen comes on.
Yay!
And hopefully you can see this, because sometimes when you're looking at a computer screen with a phone, it's a little funky. So this actually has recipes built into it. So you've got candy, greens, meat, fruit, liquid, and delicates. So it's like preset settings for different things. So you can go to settings. You can edit default dryer settings. So you can get default dry time, default freeze time. And then when you're in the book, when you turn it on, you're going to go to settings. You'll do edit default dryer settings, and then you're going to hit next page. It says to hit next until you get to where it says bread run override. So bread run, start, cycle off. So override vacuum errors, off. Warning, disabling vacuum pump errors can hurt your machine. Please do not activate this unless you're an expert. Enabling this may void your warranty. Okay, so we're going to turn that back off. So I don't really know why that's an option, if it'll void your warranty, but
let's just start the bread run.
So we're at the bread run and overrides. So we're going to save and exit, and then let's see. We're going to exit, and then we hit quick start. So this is where you got your defrost, or you can skip the freeze cycle if you've already got something that's already pre-frozen. So we're going to hit start. Ensure that the door is shut and drain valve is closed. So our drain hose is over here. So you're going to want to make sure that your drain valve is closed. So if it's perpendicular to the line, it's closed. If it's parallel, it's open. So we've got that closed, and then we're going to hit continue. So freeze cycle. There it goes. So it tells you how long it's got left in the freeze cycle. You've got your chamber temperature, your elapsed time. And you can switch it from Celsius to Fahrenheit, but we're in America here, so we use Fahrenheit.
So one thing that I was really concerned about that I had actually read from reviews is I had heard that this one was louder than the typical brand that most people use. It is quieter, like significantly quieter than our other one. Turn off the AC unit real quick. Just turn it off for a second.
Well, the compressor's running on one, just hard stop.
So I don't know how loud this will sound on the video, but it is not loud.
No, it is not loud at all.
It is a lot quieter, actually.
Now I'm curious, the thing that will produce the most noise is going to be the vacuum pump, but I'm not, we didn't just plug it in, so when it's in, well, it may still be doing the vacuum or the bread run in the morning, so it's going to freeze for 8 hours, and then, it may, I don't know how it does, so it may get to a point where it says, hey, it's cold enough in here, and
skip that.
Go ahead and skip to the end of the freeze cycle.
So we'll see.
So the freeze cycle being at 8 hours, that's a default freeze cycle. So you can go in and you can actually change how long you want your freeze cycle to be.
It does have a candy mode too, which you don't have a freeze cycle at all for candy mode. But now y'all know how to set it up. So I'm actually going to drop the freeze cycle down because the bread doesn't need to freeze for 8 hours. I'm just going to be, well, I'm going to drop it down to 2 hours. So it'll freeze for 2 hours and then it'll start the dry cycle. And then we'll see how loud that vacuum pump is. But, the screen is very, very sensitive. My finger barely touched it and it stopped it. So you don't have to pound on it.
Yeah. The other one you got you got to give it a little. So we're gonna start this again. I'm sorry. So the compressor's actually going to go through a cool down because it's just like the AC unit in your house. If the power blips off and then cuts back on, then it has to go through a cycle. So it'll start back up here in a minute. But what I was going to point at is the chamber temperature. When I hit start, the chamber temperature was at 81 degrees. And it had gotten down to 7. So the cooling of this thing is very efficient. It
tells you that the condenser is cooling down there as well.
So, but all right. So I think that's about it. Like I said, it's a very quiet and seems very efficient machine. So we're very excited about it, and we'll wait to see how loud the vacuum pump is, and
maybe do a little update.
Yeah. So, and I almost got my fingers crossed that the vacuum pump's going to be super loud, because if it's not, Crystal's going to want to put it in the house. So then that means I'm going to have to find somewhere to put it.
I have an office that can go in, guys.
But yeah. So there we go. So that's the setup and getting started with your first run on the Blue Alpine. And
guys, I know everyone says this on videos. Please like the video and follow along. That way you actually see it when we post videos. And it will help us. So we appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. See y'all.